Hi there guys, Sam here. Welcome back to another video. Join me once again in my MK7 Golf R to talk a little bit around the Golf R and basically will I be getting one and a discussion around that. So yes, welcome back to another video. I hope everyone is all well and keeping safe and well in all these challenging times. Now a lot of the channel has been about the Golf R, particularly more recently as well with with it being announced and then sort of going through from that. Great chats with subscribers as well, and I've actually got an exciting video tomorrow which is more of a video walk around of a subscriber's car. You get to see the Acropovich exhaust as well, so yeah, stay tuned for that one tomorrow. And yeah, I've really been enjoying sort of sharing the content and really been enjoying hearing a little bit about the car. Now I do get a lot of questions around will I get one when you're picking your one up and all this kind of stuff, and I do get that because obviously the channel is quite saturated with Golf R content at the moment. And a lot of the reason why that has kind of come about on the channel is because I have a MK7 Golf R, and this is the successor to it. It's interesting to me. This is a car that I really love. I love hot hatches. I'm passionate about cars. This isn't just a channel to I don't know, show off or something like that. It's just genuinely always talk about the community. Since day one I've done the channel, and I love how people like their own cars, if that makes sense. How do they get to that kind of state? Tomorrow's video, part of me in the background thinks, how hard does that person work to then be able to achieve that amazing car? And that's the reward that they get. They're thinking about doing some modification to it, which is really cool, and it's all personal to them. And that's great to share, and it's great for you to see such a cracking looking car. It looks like a Batmobile, as the person said. And yeah, check out tomorrow's video. Basically it should be pretty exciting actually. I've enjoyed sort of editing it and looking at it. And for me personally, how can I say it, I've always loved cars. I'm massive passionate about cars, and that's just purely because when I was younger I'd play with cars, toy cars, remote control cars. That's how I kind of worked. And you always kind of want to go back to a time in your life which ultimately made you very, very happy. I think as you get older you kind of look back on those times and think, oh, you know what, yeah, I love them. I've always been passionate about cars, and if you followed the channel for a long time, I don't even really need to say it, but for new subscribers watching this video, I will. Now, hot hatches have always been great, again talking about the community, because I had a Fiesta ST before that, the MK7 Fiesta ST. The community of fast forwards is huge, and yeah, I love fast forwards, a huge fan of them, and I loved my last car. And to be honest with you, I hope in the future I'd probably like to own one again. I think for between £6,000 and £10,000 for a MK7 Fiesta ST is an absolute bargain of the century. And maybe something in the future I can do it as like just having that car as a sidecar, as a fun car, taking it on track, doing some cool things with it. I think that's the key. You've got to do and I am getting to my original point of what the question in this video was. You've got to have a car for a reason. You've got to have a purpose in your own head for it to make sense, because they're a lot of money. They're, again, second most expensive thing in your life, blah blah blah. It's expensive. Now, I had some great times, early 20s, in that Fiesta ST, cracking road trips and yeah, just enjoying the car. And I probably only really realised how much of a great fun car it was when I got out of it and got into the MK7 Golf R. And that was a little bit of a downer, I'm not going to lie. And that's kind of why I started up the channel, because I wasn't really feeling this car. I was actually kind of thinking, well, I'll share a few YouTube videos and I'll probably sell it. That's generally what was going through my head. I'm glad I kept going with it, because fundamentally, for my needs, which involves sadly commuting when we can commute again, and having a car that is still fun and engaging, this is for me the best car that I've ever driven at this price point. I don't see anything else that can kind of match it. I'm never scared when I go and get a service. Even sometimes when I've been unhappy, I'm only coming out with like a couple of £100 for a service, or for anything that needs doing. And VW, German build quality, it's great, and it is a really fun car, if not quite as fun as a car that weighs half a ton less, and yeah, is a little bit loose, let's just put it that way. So that's my kind of immediate certainly the more performance orientated cars. Before that, I just had Ford Fiestas, like basic cars, which are great in their own right. My first car had been clocked when I came to sell it, so it wasn't exactly a great experience. And then the second car actually belongs to my sister at the moment. You know, I gave it to her 8 years ago now. Yeah, it is actually about 8 years ago I gave it to her, and she still has it today. Yeah, just a 1.4 Fiesta Z-Tech. So I've had that as my kind of car history, and I know the reasons why I got each of those cars. Now, a Golf 8R, fundamentally, it's a Golf. Let's just be honest with you. It's a very good Golf. It's a, you know, it's a cracking Golf, but it is a fundamentally a great car for doing some of the boring stuff. Let's just be honest. Doing the commute, going on trips, which generally involves long motorway or highway drives. You know, you want to be in a little bit of comfort and stuff, and you know, you don't necessarily want a booming sound all the time. Well, certainly I don't. And then you can switch it up into race mode, and you've kind of got that excitement can come when you hit those nice roads in Wales or Scotland, or you know, in the UK we've got some cracking roads and some like amazing sort of like almost like countrysides and stuff if you're not from here, which most of my subscribers are, so you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I love this car for that. It's the complete package. And for me, until I test drive a Golf 8R, which I do plan to, and share what I think of the car in person, I don't necessarily think it's going to be too much different than that. Certainly from feedback as well from others who've owned it, power-wise, it's not going to blow your mind in terms of the difference between this car. You know, mine's a 6-speed manual, but if you're coming from a 7-speed DSG in the 7.5 facelift Golf R, or even a 6-speed DSG in the Mark 7 Golf R, I don't think you're going to be blown away until you start modding it, in which case you might as well stay with a Mark 7 because you're modding the same engine. You're modding the EA888 engine. So don't expect to be, you know, I'm not expecting to be blown away in that side of things. It is probably going to be a last hurrah. You know, we can't, you know, it's not going to be a case where we're going to see combustion engines or even a Golf again. You know, they're moving to this ID range. Everything's going to go electric. And unfortunately for me, you know, I don't wake up in the morning going, oh, I wish I could own that Tesla. You know, it's not something that gets me out of bed personally. But what does is like, oh, you know, I want to get up on a Sunday morning to go out for a fun drive in a Golf R. I want to go out on a fun drive round my back roads in my Fiesta ST. You know, those are the sort of things that make me smile and make me work hard. You know, these are, you know, for me, what I work hard for. You know, you've got to have a little side reason for all of the stuff that you do day to day. For me to justify spending such a huge more amount of money on a Golf 8R, looking at everything, I probably would want one with like an Acropovich exhaust. I'd want one pretty fully spec'd, if I'm honest with you. So I'm going to be spending, what, £45,000 at a minimum. Is money I don't particularly want to spend all on one kind of car, particularly a car that is a daily. So at this stage, it's not something that is like pressing on my mind to have. I appreciate probably one of the main things that would encourage me to get it is obviously my subscriber base. You know, I've got a great little support here, and I do appreciate everyone on the channel who comments and gets involved. I think I've learned so much about this car from other people, and I'm learning so much more about the Golf 8R because of other people as well. And it also, maybe it makes you guys happy as well listening on the other end, and sort of me sharing my experience of this car, and I'd be able to share it with the Golf 8R. But this channel doesn't really make me any money, so I can't really justify it just on that. And I really am enjoying this car. I really do think it's sort of in its sweet spot, if that makes sense, in its time in its life. It's not worth a ridiculously high sum of money for a daily car. I can enjoy it. I can put miles on it. I don't have to worry about too much things. It's had a year where it hasn't done anything because of lockdown. It's got time to make up for it, and I kind of want to enjoy it in that way. And I'd almost rather spend the money that I'm saving on doing cool things with the car. You know, making the experience out of it. You know, it's not just a daily driver into London. It's, you know, it can be maybe, who knows, driving to Monaco, you know, doing something with it, which it's just a special car to do it in, for me anyway. And that's kind of where I'm at. I know I'm kind of 10 minutes in, so I hope people have sort of stayed tuned for me just sort of rambling on. But in short, not really. I want to test drive it out. Anything can kind of happen in the future, so I'd never rule anything out. But again, like I said, what gets me up in the morning is how cracking a car is. And if it's very similar to a car that I've had before, it's really kind of not worth it. There's not going to be any, you know, there's no manual Golf Rs anymore in the UK. There's no three-door Golfs anymore. So I like the uniqueness that this car has. And people still look at it. You know, I parked it up just to go for a walk, actually, last week. And as I was coming back to the car, I could see, not in a bad way, people just checking out the car. And it's like, oh, that's nice. It's still got that appeal to it, which is just, it's just nice to see. I realise how special it is. Mainly from other people. And that again puts a smile on my face. Now the other thing that goes through my head is, for that kind of money, there's a load of really great cars that I'd like to get into. If you're an old subscriber, you'll know that I do have a dream and a goal of owning a Porsche. And that's just a goal I've had. I would like to have one, and I'd like to have the right one as well, if that makes sense. Always been a fan of Caymans. Driven so many around track. I'll still drive them around track. As soon as lockdown's over, I'm booking plenty of days to have some fun of ragging around a 718 Cayman GT4, probably get back in a 981 GT4 and just have some fun, because those cars are brilliant. They sound brilliant. Yeah, I haven't driven the 718 yet, but I want to, yeah, I'll share that with you lot as well in the channel for those Porsche fans out there. I still do Porsche content. But for that kind of money, I'd want a car that is exciting to, like, almost like the senses, that real special car. So it's got to have a decent engine, it's got to sound good, it's got to be great to drive. I'm more of a driver, a car that's very special in the driving dynamics than a car that's really special for Instagram, put it that way. And for me, for around £40,000, I mean, I've been checking on Auto Trader, for around £37,000, I've seen a Cayman GTS, a 981. That's pretty compelling. Your money's pretty safe. It's a very special car in its own right. Probably better for the road than a GT4, having driven GT4 981s a lot. They are very stiff. 3.4 litre, naturally aspirated engine, sounds the nuts. Great car. You're going to be paying more than that for a Golf AR. And I'm certainly not getting any more for it. So yeah, that's where I am. It would certainly be a case that if I got the car, I'd have to part with this car, and weighing it up in my mind if it's worth it. I've got a lot of Mark 7 owners on here, and I think everyone seems to be in the same ballpark. I check on forums and stuff, and they're just not feeling it. Particularly once we're still in lockdown in the UK, it's pretty crap. What's going to get me up in the morning on a gorgeous sunny June morning is a car that is inherently special, and I'll generally get up for drives in this car for that. But with a Golf R, is it going to be any difference? Is it going to lose its feel because it's an auto? Maybe. Am I going to be thinking, oh, I've just spent an extra 25 grand? Is that going to bum me out a little bit? Probably will. So that's where I'm sort of on the wait it out a little bit, see how things go. And if I did have the disposable income for around the £40,000 mark, in addition to this car, yeah, I'm looking at Caymans, I'm looking at that kind of thing. Just because I really think they're cool. And I love the whole, particularly in that car, you've got mid-engined, naturally aspirated engine, so you get very linear power delivery. It's very progressive. There's no spike like you get in a turbo-charged car. Big fat rear tyres, very balanced, very easy to push hard, without being made to look like a fool by crashing it as well. and yeah, Porsche badge, all that kind of stuff. That's just where I am at in my sort of hunt for yeah, for a great car. And yeah, I hope this little chat is interesting to people, just to give them an idea of where I'm at. I'm not just a guy who just chucks a few images on and you know, you view them. I generally love my cars. I wouldn't do any of this if I didn't. And there's not really, you know, I go on about fast Fords, fast VWs like Golf Rs and Porsches and stuff like that. They're probably my three kind of favourite brands, but I generally, I'll admire anything. I'll admire a 1 litre EcoBoost Fiesta going past. You know, I'm just, yeah, that's where I'm at. It's cool to see how people are using them and what they're doing with it, and yeah, building a little bit of the community as well. So that's where I'm at. I'm looking forward to getting more, hopefully more feedback from other people who've got a Golf R as well. You know, one person's been particularly helpful and I'm grateful for that, and I've had I've done a few videos on that which you lot have enjoyed, and I'm interested to see how their experience goes and sharing that with you, because that's ultimately what I want to do. I want to get that across to either help someone out who's interested in getting one, or for those who can't quite afford this type of car, to let them know what that experience is like. That's kind of a bit of the goal of the channel. But there you go. That's my little ramble for today. Plenty more exciting content to come. I still think that we're not at the end in terms of the Golf R being top dog. There could well be room for something a little bit more special. Maybe, yeah, maybe in the future. You know, I think VW would like to go out on a swan song for their top of the range Golf. Particularly with a not a naturally aspirated engine, a combustion engine. Maybe with a hybrid turbo, maybe stick the 5-cylinder engine in the car from the RS3. Then, well, you've got a different proposition then. I'm sort of, yeah, I'm drooling over those kind of cars. I drooled over the Mark 7, the R400 or whatever it was, which never came out. And yeah, so watch this space. Plenty more content to come, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. But have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay tuned to tomorrow's video as well. A little bit shorter, but yeah, probably a bit more exciting for those who are watching. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers, guys.